Hello, my name is Michelle Tran Maryns, and I am a Junior Achievement Volunteer here today to talk with you about a topic that really excites me. It's the business model canvas, and specifically figuring out your value proposition. I started out as a Junior Achievement Volunteer a few years ago when I was working at a nonprofit called META, and we partnered together with Junior Achievement to start a new program called the JA META Fellows Program. Most recently, I was the instructor for a new program with JA called JA Launch You, which is hosted in the Innovation Incubator at JA. So today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about Business Model Canvas. It's a way to provide a snapshot of your business and help you think through your ideas and vet them out and clearly explain them. So I also want to tell you a little bit about my own background. I am an entrepreneur myself. I have a business called We Sparkle, which is a social enterprise that helps small businesses start and grow. I started it in October 2018 because I was part of a fellowship program called the Finnovation Fellowship, which is geared toward helping social entrepreneurs get their start. So I started working on that. I spent the past year mostly researching and understanding my customer, developing a prototype, and building out my product, which is one of our first tools is a conversational AI assistant or a smart chatbot that assists small businesses with their administrative and marketing tasks. And in terms of funding for our business, we participated in the Minnesota Cup, which is the world's largest statewide pitch competition. And we won the 2019 Impact Division of the Minnesota Cup, as well as the overall crowd favorite. And so that gave us some funding to be able to continue doing our work. And I am really interested in what all of you are thinking about starting in terms of your own business, the products and services that you want to provide to the world and the problems that you want to solve. And so the tools that we're going to learn about today help you kind of flesh out some of those ideas. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about and just sort of introduce overall is the Business Model Canvas. This is a book that has been really helpful for me in reading and browsing through to understand how to put together a business idea. In particular, there's a Business Model Canvas, which is shown right here, and it kind of looks like a placemat. You can really just print this off for free. If you just go search on the internet for Business Model Canvas, you'll see a bunch of free templates. You can also print a large poster size Business Model Canvas if you go to www.businessmodelgeneration.com. And then what you can do is you might have a lot of ideas. You can use Post-it notes and actually post it onto that large size Business Model Canvas and kind of fill it in and brainstorm and move things around. So I have these dry erase boards. That's usually where I do most of my brainstorming. So when I'm thinking about different aspects of my business, different types of products and services, I usually use dry erase boards, but you can also print it off. They also have digital ones of this Business Model Canvas that you can fill out online or, just pen and paper. So what is on the Business Model Canvas? There are a few different areas that you really need to fill in to kind of think about your business. And one of the biggest ones, one of the main ones that you'll be thinking about the most is called the value proposition. And the value proposition is really what are you proposing that your product or service, that your business, what type of value does it bring to people? Are you solving a problem? Are you helping them to gain something in some way? What jobs are you accomplishing, helping them to accomplish with your product or service? So in order to think about that a little bit more, I want to drill in a little bit more specifically on the value proposition because that's really the core of your business. And there's some different tools that you can use for that. This book is called Value Proposition Design. It was actually created by the same authors as Business Model Generation. But they wanted one specifically on value proposition design because that's one of the trickiest parts about your business is trying to figure out the value that you're bringing to customers. And so when you're thinking about the types of ideas that you have for starting your business, it's really important to start with the person. Who's your customer? And when you're thinking about your customer, And this could be a friend, it could be a teacher, it could be a student. There are many types of customers that you could help. Everybody has problems, and that's something that I recommend that you do throughout your day, throughout your week, is just keep a journal or keep tabs and observe and notice what problems do people have. Because often if you can identify problems that people have, you can probably come up with a product or service that helps solve that problem. So some of the best businesses really come from just solving problems like that. So if you, let's say you have a parent or you have a teacher or a friend who's having a problem, there are things that you might think about in terms of their pains. So this is a frowny face, and you might draw this up and then just brainstorm in here, what are some problems that they have? So let's say that you have a friend who is really bored during COVID-19 pandemic, having to stay home and really sad. So that would be a pain, is, being bored. And, if it was a teacher, their pain or something, a problem that they might have is being able to teach their students remotely. If it's a parent, their problems might be around how to make sure to get food safely on the dinner table and make sure that their whole family is staying safe. So people all have different problems, and it's good for you to try and focus on one type of person. So let's say that you really want to be able to serve students. So what you would do is you can interview different students and see what are the things that they're sad about, what are their pains, and you put it all in this section. Then you can also think about that same customer, maybe it's a student, and what are the things that are making them happy. And sometimes you can think about, this can also lead to a lot of good business ideas. So, maybe one way that people are coping with being bored during COVID is by doing crafts. And so that's something that makes them happy, makes them excited. So that would be a gain. So on this map here, when you're looking at your customer, you want to understand their pains, the problems they're having, the things that they don't like, but also you want to understand their gains. What are things that are making them happy? Because maybe your product or service can incorporate that element into it, or your business can incorporate that element into it. This last piece on this map of the customer profile, these are jobs. So listing on your map, what are the jobs that they need to get done? So if you're a student, there are different jobs that you might need to get done. Like maybe you have chores that you have to get done or homework that needs to get done. What are the different things that they need to get done? Once you understand your customer really well, it's very easy then to come up with your business idea. So on this side is more of the product map. So that's what this gift here represents, is their product. What is the product or service that your business is going to provide? And these map out really well, because if you know your customer really well, then you can start brainstorming different products or services that might solve the problem of this customer. Or maybe bring them delight, maybe make their life a little bit better. So that's what these two areas represent. So if you come up with a product or service, you can also map out the different features of your product service, either the things that make it solve problems for the customer or the things that help increase their happiness, things that will make them really excited about your product or service. And so those usually map out with the things that your customer finds appealing. And here on this side is really about making sure that your product or service is getting the jobs done that your customer needs done. So if your customer really needs to get the job done of, being satisfied in terms of having food, there are many different options. There are many different restaurants that are offering curbside pickup and delivery during this time. So there are many options, or you could do cooking at home. So there are many ways that you can get the job done of feeling like your hunger is satiated. So what is your product or service that is the reason why your customer would choose it? So for example, if the job to be done is, I want to have a little treat. I want to have something that I could eat that is a treat. there are many options that they might choose. And if your product or service, let's say your product or service is a smoothie, it could help make them increase their happiness because it's a healthier option. Maybe that's something that your customer really wants, is a healthy treat. And it's cooling. It could be refreshing. Maybe as it starts to get hot during the summertime, you want something a little bit more refreshing and that'll cool you down. So that could be another feature of your product or service that's appealing to your customer. So this is really how you can think about your value proposition, is really starting with your target customer. Who are the people that you want to be serving? Understanding their problems, the pains they have, but also the gains, things that make them happy and delight them, and the jobs that they need to get done in their daily life. In our daily life, there are many things that we need to get done. And how is your product or service helping them achieve those goals, helping them get those jobs done and relieving their problems or providing them some extra happiness or delight during their life? So once you figure out kind of your value proposition, you can put that into your business model canvas. So the value proposition is really in the middle of the canvas because it's the most core thing. So you would write in here what your value proposition is. What value are you bringing? Are you solving a problem? Are you making someone happier? What is your product or service doing? Then from there, you can move around the canvas. And this is a flexible tool to use. You can really fill it out. You can use Post-it notes. You can erase. But it helps you brainstorm and think about your business. I usually move, once you kind of figure out your value proposition, which is one of the hardest parts, and you can come back to it. I often think about the customer relationships. So depending on your customer, they might want to be engaged in different ways. They're looking for, some customers want to have a lot of contact with you, have a deep relationship. Others might just want to quickly get what they need done and be out, and they don't really want, a very involved relationship. They might not want tons of emails from you, for example. Channels is another thing to think about. So how are you serving up your product or service? Is it something that they can download digitally, that they can access online? Is it something that has to be done in person? If it has to be done in person, especially during this pandemic, think about that and the implications that that has. So a lot of restaurants and businesses have had to pivot during this time, where a lot of them were using a channel of more in-person, face-to-face contact. A lot of them have switched and are now offering a lot of their products and services online. Or, for restaurants, it's that curbside pickup or delivery. So thinking about the channels of how you serve up your product or service is really important. Then when you're thinking more specifically about your customer, you can think about different segments. So it could be that your product or service can be broken up into different customer segments. So let's say that your target customer are students. Well, there are different types of students, right? There's elementary school, middle school, high school, college. What are the different segments of students that you're trying to target? Are you trying to target more, younger students, older students? So even if you have a target customer, sometimes you can segment it in different ways. When it comes to parents, there might be different types of parents. It could be a geographic segment. So for example, parents in Minneapolis versus parents in St. Paul, they might have different problems. They might have different things that they're looking for. And so thinking about your customer segments and how you can target them. Key resources. So that's over here. Those are the things that you might need in order to get your business done. So let's say you wanted to start a smoothie business. What are the kinds of things that you would need? You need certain ingredients, right, to create the smoothies. You might need fruit, sugar, basic ingredients like that. So what are the key things that you need in order to create your product or service? Let's say you're wanting to create t-shirts. You probably need a manufacturer or someone to buy the t-shirts from. Maybe you find them on a website. But let's say you want to custom print them. You need to find someone who can do that kind of custom printing. So those are all kind of different resources you need to build the product or service that you have. Key activities. That's where you put in the things that you need to get done. So let's say you have a t-shirt business. You need to order the t-shirts. You need to design a logo or a graphic or an image. And then you need to deliver that to screen printers. You need to identify a screen printer and give them that logo. And then you also need to take payments from people. They need to take some orders. So you put that all in the key activities. Excuse me. Key partners. That is this section over here. So there might be people along the way that really need to help you in order to deliver your product or service to your customers. So, when I was talking about the t-shirts or ordering them, you might need to order them from a key partner, a certain manufacturer that has a deal. Maybe there's a manufacturer who's giving you a deal for you to be able to pay less if you order 100 t-shirts. So that might be a key partner. A screen printer might be a key partner. Or let's say that you want to sell your t-shirts at school. Maybe schools would be a key partner, is really trying to talk with the principals and make sure that it's okay for you to sell your t-shirts at the school. So you need to think about all the people that you might want to build relationships with, or that you might want to partner with in order to sell your products or services. Every year around the time of year when Girl Scouts sell cookies, they often partner with grocery stores because I see them have a table outside my grocery store. I'm going in to pick up groceries anyway, and I say, oh, I'll buy some Girl Scout cookies. So thinking about key partners where you might be able to sell your products or services is really important. Then down here, we get more into cost structure and revenue streams. So revenue streams, that's how you're going to make money. You might have a few different ones. So let's say that you have this t-shirt company and you get revenue from selling t-shirts. But let's say your website's super popular. There's tons of people going to it to look at all your cool t-shirt designs that you have. You might also be able to have another revenue stream by offering selling ads on your website, because so many people are coming to your website. So that might be two different revenue streams. You get revenue from your t-shirts, and you also get revenue from ads on your website. So thinking about the different types of revenue that you can get for your products and services. And then lastly, cost structure. So really thinking about the pricing for your products and services. So you need to know how much it costs to produce it, so that when you are pricing it, you're making sure that you're making some sort of profit from it. You wouldn't want to be losing money every time you sell a product or service. So thinking about what does it cost to build or to create your product or service, and then what is the pricing going to be for the customer. And so really thinking about your cost structure and how you make money is where you put that information here. Once you fill out all of these different parts of the business model canvas, this is really a great snapshot that you can provide to people and let them know the business that you want to start or grow. I know that with the junior achievement programs, they have a business snapshot, and it's very similar, and that one's more text. Sometimes having it on a placemat like this business model canvas is just a very visual way to be able to show and represent everything about your business. So that is just a little information about value proposition design and business model canvas. I would be happy to take questions about that you might have more detailed, but you can also go on the internet and search for more information about business model canvas. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this introduction to business model canvas and value proposition design, and best wishes with your learning. Thank you.